Hey, this is indeed Walt from the Comic Book Men, and you're listening to the iWalter Show.
Is someone there? John? You. After all these years, you've come for me. There's a boy. Many years ago, he tried to kill the fuckman. He left us a long time ago.
You know any dads go missing around here, motherfucker?
But this time, it's your old man.
You seen your dad burn to death in front of you?
What is the fuck, man?
Father's Day killer, cannibal man killer.
Those damn reporters can give it any name they want. But I got my eye on you and that degenerate sister of yours, Chelsea. So you tell her I said hi.
You must find this man, Ahab.
Not dead!
You must find him.
Faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive, able to leap tall buildings in a single bound. Look, up in the sky, it's a bird brain, it's a plane, it's iWalter. Yes, it's iWalter, strange visitor from another planet who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. iWalter, who can change the course of mighty rivers, bend ears with his annoying voice, and who disguised as Walter Interranti, mild-mannered janitor for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle for truth, nonsense, and the American way. And now, another exciting episode in the adventures of iWalter.
Yes, it's iWalter. Okay, alrighty. I hope everyone can hear me. You know, I had a couple things I wanted to go over. That beginning, I was trying to look for something. It is Father's Day, so I was trying to look for any soundbite that, a movie or whatever. And the best I could find was some horror movie that was actually a Lloyd Kaufman trauma-stamped film called Father's Day, and it was from 2011. So apparently, I don't know. I never even heard of it. I honestly haven't heard of most of Lloyd Kaufman's films unless they're the upper, hand ones like Romeo and Juliet, and I try to think Toxic Avenger. They were his popular ones. So, yeah, the movie looks pretty bad, but I just had to use something, so I end up picking that. Talking about bad films, by the way, I got this movie that was, Shudder just added onto their list of films. Excuse me, I'm going to cough. Sorry about that. So, I figured, I'll check it out because I'm paying for this Shudder. It's like $5 a month, and it's like some of the films are pretty interesting. They're old B horror movies, but usually they're not that bad. So I watched this movie. It was brand new. Well, it's not brand new. It's from 1990 called Beyond Darkness, and the movie was so bad. It made like the movies they show on Mystery Science 3000 look like they were prize winners that they pick. I mean, those movies back in the day when they used to have that Mystery Science 3000, those movies were so horrendous, they were deliberately mocked and picked on because they were so bad. So I'm like watching this movie that Shudder put up, and it was beyond bad, though, because I myself could not make it through it. I was actually falling asleep, like not even just jokingly falling asleep. No, I was actually falling asleep. To the point it was like, okay, I got to do something. So I got up. I had a little extra time this week for work, and I was like, okay, finishing my work and stuff, which doesn't happen very often. It was like, wow, I got everything caught up for a change, thanks to help with some other coworkers, that I actually could kind of relax a little bit. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna watch part of the movie. I didn't expect to watch the whole thing, but it was so bad I couldn't even watch 5 minutes of it before I was like ready to pull my hair out. And I went back to it at home. It was like, I think I watched part of the film at work. It wasn't that long of I think it was like an hour and a half, but it looked like worse than a made-for-TV sci-fi / chiller movie, back in sci-fi's still around, chiller's still around. I think it was FearNet that actually went away. But those movies are really bad, but this is even worse. I mean, this is beyond bad. And it just made no sense. It reminded me of one of those, seriously, it reminded me of one of those Bible beaten, like people that are real Christians and stuff. And I'm Catholic, but I'm just saying the ones who try to put the fear of God in you, like, oh, if you masturbate, you're gonna go to hell, and they make films about it, like how Satan's going to eventually take over unless you're a good Christian. And those movies are beyond bad. And I knew a guy at work, God love him, no puns intended, but he was a real big Bible thumper and stuff, and this guy was always preaching about God and everything, and he drove me nuts. He was a nice man. He was a good worker, too. But he used to watch the stuff that would just drive me crazy. It was like, oh, and if you acted like you were interested, he would, like, get excited, like, well, yeah, this movie. And he had, like, these Christian websites where all these Christian movies were on, and they drove me crazy. It was like, dude, I'm not going to mock you. And he would try to get other people convinced you should really watch these movies. And it's like, they're horrible, though. They're really bad. It's like, well, this one's really exciting. It's like, exciting for what? A dead person to watch? Because they're horrible. I don't mean to act that way. I really don't. I apologize for if I insult anybody. But, this Beyond Darkness was exactly like one of these kind of films, trying to scare you into religion. And it's like, maybe it wasn't, but that's what it felt like. It's like wherever you dug this movie up, whatever dollar bin, you know what? You better put it back in there. And actually, no offense, you better burn it too, because the movie was beyond horrible. It actually got a decent rating. Again, it probably got off one of those Christian websites. It was rated. Well, one person rated it 3 out of 5 stars. It's like 3. I could put like 5 negative out of 5 stars, but never that high. That movie was just really, really bad. So, I just had I had to put something in the beginning. I just didn't know what to get. And, today I had taken my father out to a place he wanted to go eat. He likes this place called, you know what, I went there. My mom and I had paid for him, my mother and I, but I can't remember what it is. I actually marked on my Facebook. That would probably be a good stepping stone there if I probably went there. Let me see if I can find it real quick, though. See, what happened was I bought him his printer. My printer was bad, so I ended up buying him a printer at first. And he seemed quite contented with that, so it was like, hey, your birthday is like 2 weeks away also. So I just don't want to spend, an arm and a leg again. I spend like $50, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it is. Well, not the kind of money I spend on myself. I'm sorry, I'm just kidding, though. But, I got a nice printer, got it myself because I needed one, too. And he was like, he was happy with that. I said, hey, do you understand? Boston Market is where I had taken my dad. I see it now. So he was really contented with that. It was like, hey, I'm happy with, that you got me the printer. We had taken him to Boston Market today, and then I got him a card that made him laugh. So it was funny, actually, because the card I bought my father, it's no joke. It actually came in handy, but we get a lot of we had this fireman's fair up from where I live, and it was, it just ended, I think, last night, so I'm glad it's gone. But you always get a lot of, I hate to say it this way, but you get a lot of riffraff. There's no other way to put it, but you get a lot of lowlifes and stuff that come around. I got it at Gary's years ago, and it was in Eagleville, which was walking distance from the fair up in Eagleville. And I remember even back then that our boss, or bosses, used to say, hey, be on the lookout because we get a lot stolen at that point. When this fair comes around, they drive both bosses just like they get them really mad. It's like, you got to keep an eye out because you get all the riffraff that comes around from nowhere, and they literally rob us blind. We used to have that. So it's a different place. It's a health food store now. It actually was started by Gary's, but he sold the business, I think, to GNC or something. They're just keeping his name for I don't know how long. So anyway, but it's a division, I think, of GNC that bought him out. So I kind of told them, I gave them the heads up. I said, yeah, when that fair comes around, I guess you guys got to be on the lookout. They never even thought about it. It's like, yeah, because we used to get robbed blind. I mean, stuff just walked out of the store. Not that there was internal theft as well, but it was really bad with this fair. So, make a short story long. I know it's the other way around. It was kind of interesting, but, we get more, like, garbage in our yard, and we actually are quite a distance from this fair, but they seem to trickle down this way. So we always get more trash in our yard. And the one night, my mother opened all the windows of our house, and it was like, hey, because it was really nice out. It was really cold, actually. And the fair was going on, of course. So you got all the white trash even after hours when that fair is closed down. They're making their rounds. The garbage, the human garbage makes their rounds. So we get... I was coming home from work, actually. It was one of my, this past week. My dad said, oh, yeah, there was a skunk kind of prowling around. Well, somebody obviously hit it. And now, normally we don't have this. We had a skunk get hit. We always get all these piles of cigarette butts, which I don't know if I mentioned was over in Walmart around here in Harleysville that actually caught fire from somebody throwing a lit cigarette out their window, and it basically cindered beyond belief 7 cars, I believe it was. So I don't like that. And these idiots, and a lot of them actually have lipstick on them all the time. So it's the same person, too, because it's same thing. It's a lit cigarette, throw it out their window into our yard. My mom has flower beds. We have grass, obviously. It's our yard. And it's a private neighborhood, but the same particular person cuts through and throws all their ashes. Sometimes it looks like they just dumped their whole ashtray right in front of our driveway. So that's a little bit, obviously, spiteful. I just don't like it because it's a disgusting habit. I don't smoke. None of us do. I never had the desire to. And you get the same idiot who comes past our house throwing all their garbage in front of our yard. And, again, it's on spite. I don't know why they're doing it because I don't even know who this person is or what their vendetta against us is. I know a woman I work with. She actually mentions how she has a neighbor who their neighbor lets their dog go over her yard and shit all over her yard. And she's like, we don't even have a dog. We don't even talk to these people. Why are they being this way to us? Like, we don't even do anything to them. So people are just, I don't know what it is, more and more people that are not working, the more you get this stupidity from people. Like, they're angry at you, like it's your fault, which it isn't. So that's one thing. And, yeah, it drives me. Anyway, again, I made the story really long now. We also have, besides the skunk getting run over, the ashes in our yard, or the cigarette butts in our yard, my mom woke me up. I didn't go to bed when I did, I think, a show the other night. Actually, it might have been something else. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I was working on the video, which is up on YouTube. I'll explain that in a minute. So I didn't go to bed until 7. So my mother, I went to bed at 7, and like a half an hour later, she's waking me up. Like, she's getting out of bed. And she was saying, oh, yeah, in the bottom of our driveway, there's a dead squirrel. So somebody, like, ran through our development so quickly, they were capable of running over a squirrel that was left in our driveway. So they actually must have ran partially into our driveway, hit the squirrel. The squirrel probably just basically walked about 2 feet and dropped dead. So it was like, okay. So I went over to Walmart yesterday. I guess I can still say that. What time is it? 8:11. I will be able to say it after the next 3 hours. 4 hours, 3 hours. And I found this card, and it was like a Father's Day card with a squirrel that sings on the front of it. And it was like, okay, this is perfect because my dad and my mom are going off about this dead squirrel in our driveway, at the end of our driveway, which you end up throwing in the backyard. Our neighbor next door said, just throw it in the garbage can. And it was like, no, that's going to stink. You have to bury the damn thing. So apparently the squirrel was hit so profusely, whatever you want to say, that its eyes were still open, its head was smashed or whatever, like the eyes were hanging out of the head. So that just shows you kind of stupidity we have around here on these drivers. Nobody follows curfew times. I mentioned that before. It's just the whole thing's a joke. Speaking about Walmart, I went over there. I want, like, all the stuff I asked my parents, can you do during the week, I don't mean to pest them. Didn't get done until yesterday. I literally ran from when I got out of the house, which was later in the afternoon, until, a couple hours later, I was, like, in Plymouth Meeting area. I was in King of Prussia. No, I actually avoided Plymouth Meeting. Collegeville, King of Prussia, and I forget where else, like Norristown area. I was like in 3 different areas of Montgomery County, like going around getting this stuff done. It's like, and Eagleville as well, because I had to pick up like Springwood. I was like, okay, I asked for during the week, can you kind of help me out with this little frivolous stuff if you're going right past a certain store, King of Prussia too. And it was like, no, we don't have time. What are you doing? Well, we're going out to eat, and then we're going to come home and watch TV. Okay, so I I understand they do pick me up stuff, which is really, I appreciate, but they're really not that busy. They make themselves feel like they're busy. It's like, you're not busy, you're bored. There's a difference. Speaking of which, being bored, it was the other night, I love my mother and stuff and my father, but just now even I went to my bathroom. It's on the first floor. Came out of nowhere, my dad pulls the hose out, and I'm like literally on the shitter doing my business, and who's watering one rose bush right in front of the bathroom window, staring in. My father. Isn't that a shock? I mean, he does that all the time. And they act like it just so happens. Like yesterday, I didn't get up because I was so tired from working all week. I actually didn't get up until 3 in the afternoon because I deliberately wanted to catch up on some sleep. My mother didn't get out of bed until 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Today, if I get up at 5 in the morning, they're up at 5. I get up at 8 in the afternoon or in the morning, they're have to get up and be running around the house, slamming doors or using the water or staring in my window at that exact same time. It doesn't matter. Like today, I got up. I had to sleep in because I was up a little bit late again, and I wanted to basically just catch up on sleep from the week. And the moment I'm ready to take a shower and everything, it's like 2:30 in the afternoon. My mother has to take the shower at the exact same time. So, well, actually what I did is I went back to bed deliberately. I got up at a decent time almost because I went to bed at a decent time. And it was like, okay, she got up. As soon as she heard me, I heard her trampling around the house. So I was like, okay, I'll just go back to bed for a couple hours. I need sleep anyway to catch up for the week of not sleeping right for doing shows. And one thing I haven't mentioned yet, which I will get into in a second. And guess what? She's laid on the bed, and as soon as I get up, she gets up, and I got to get ready now. So you can't win. The other night, by the way, when I got home, all I eat for dinner when I'm at work is I take a protein drink. That's all I have, folks. It's just a protein drink. And it's an iced tea and a 1 liter bottle of this stuff called Penta water. That's my diet right now. So that's been actually really working. The problem is I get home, she'll bring me food home. I'll eat it at like 1 o'clock in the morning, which is not a good idea. Because technically, if you want to lose weight, they say, which I don't have that problem right now, but if you want to lose weight, you should not eat anything after 8 o'clock. And it's like, I can't do that. I'm always munchies all the time. And it's, I try to keep consistent with good food, but, it's difficult not to have anything being consumed in my mouth, if it's a yogurt or whatever. So, and lots of iced tea, which is all sugar. The stuff I get is all sugar. It's better to have sugar, though, than glucose corn syrup, believe it or not. So, anyway, I come home. I'm like, it's 1 o'clock in the morning. My mother got me some stuff that she, and usually what I do eat at night lately, which I thank my mother for that. She's gotten the routine. It's just most of the time, there's been one time it was not, but it's usually salad, soup, salad, and a roll, a small one, like a garlic knot. And that's about it. It's nothing that drastic. It's, you shouldn't probably be eating it, but it's nothing like eating a full high-carb food diet. It's mostly, again, soup and salad. That stuff, basically, if anything, you got to make sure you don't defecate in your bed, from eating too much greens and other dietetic types or diuretic type stuff. Knock on wood, I haven't, because I got a brand new mattress, just last year on this bed, like less than 8 months ago. I don't want to ruin it already. And it's actually been really helping. One problem I've been having, so that's, like last night I actually had a protein drink. I got up out of bed because I was like, okay, I'm not going to wake up with all these pains and stuff. This is another reason I take these protein drinks. I've been working so hard during the week that I wake up, I can barely move because my arms, my legs, my muscles are all cramped up from all the physical work I've been doing at the job. Now, this is funny because we have 2 people. They do listen in, so hey, no offense, but I kind of, can't pull the wool over my eyes. You think you are, but we have all these rooms we have to clean during the course of the week. Well, apparently they only cleaned one. So out of like multiple, I'm going to say like hypothetically it was like 12 rooms, maybe more, maybe less. But out of all those rooms, 2 of them on day shift were only capable of cleaning one room. I won't say any more thing about that. So me and this woman I work with and this guy who comes over and helps us out and my old partner come over to, help with the cleaning stuff, so we get it done by the end of the week. But the problem is it's been just killing me. I mean, I've been like really going in. And it's funny because people won't admit to this, but with the other ones, not even excluding these 2 I'm talking about, their names don't need to be brought up. They won't say a word about what they're doing wrong. Me, though, they nitpick and saying how I should do the work by the book, precisely down to the smallest minute detail, how I'm not doing it correctly. So you know what that makes me feel like? It's like I just have to walk away. I really just want to scream on the top of my lungs. It's like, okay, you got 2 other people who are not following the rules. They're not even doing their job correctly. They're not doing it, period. But you can turn the other cheek. And this is the same thing that's happening, by the way. This is why I'm bringing this up, because I might have some stories. The exact same thing that's happening in our society as a whole, in our country, that you overlook, like, this is different, but it's honestly, to me, it's the same thing. Like with the Muslims, it was mentioned that Barack Hussein Obama has let in over 1 million, probably more, but I thought it was like, because I was listening to Stern yesterday, the recap. I was listening to that. He was saying, Stern, did I say Stern? I apologize. I get him confused. Oh, yes, I do get him confused. Rush Limbaugh. He said they let in over 1 million Muslims in this country since he's taken office, Barack Hussein Obama. He's also stated since Obama's been in office by letting, it just seems coincidental. Let me put it that way. We've had more terroristic attacks in those 7.5 years with Barack Hussein Obama than we've had with any other president. But yet they can't figure out what the reason is. But again, you go back to we turn the other cheek. It's the same thing at work. Okay, if it's 2 females not doing their work, well, maybe it's because of me, which is, again, that's another issue that even Rush brought up and other sources I've read, where not only they turn the other cheek, but they blame the white male or the white person that it's their fault, that they're picking on Muslims, they're picking on minorities of any type, and it's their fault. It's not the person's fault who's causing the crime, like that one that happened in Orlando, Florida, because that's been brought up quite often this week because it just happened a few days ago, which is understandable. But they're not blaming the correct people. Instead, they're blaming, well, it's the gun's fault. It's the white guy's fault. It's because of all the corruption that's happened since the beginning of this country. It's nobody else's fault. It's the white man, the upper WASP, the the WASP, what is that, white Protestant? I can't remember what that stood for. I could probably look it up. It would probably be actually pretty interesting. It's their fault. It's nobody else's fault. Everybody else is just victimized. And how many times have I said that? But that's exactly what Rush was talking about. That's exactly what's happened at my job, though, too. It's not that it's, the person who's wrong's fault. And then the really scary thing, by the way, which is really, I've said this before, and I'm even more scared now. I'm going to put WASP in. Is, who was it? I think it was Rush on this one, too, that you got this, like, millennials don't like to be, okay, WASP stands for White Anglo-Saxon Protestant, by the way, because if you don't know, I just forgot I knew it was something like that. White Anglo-Saxon Protestant. Again, it's abbreviated to WASP. Is an informal, sometimes disparaging term for a group family guy, has featured several puns on the term involving a family of actual wasps that share the characteristic of a white Anglo-Saxon, once again, Protestant male, basically is what it is. They cut off the M just to make sure that it has, whatever you call that terminology. So, but he was saying, like, right now it's about probably over. Rush Limbaugh actually did say it's over 50% of this country, which is made up of these people for 2 generations, I believe he had said now, have been brainwashed by the education system from the Democrat side, the liberals that are not even, Democrat voters. The liberals have brainwashed 2 generations of people that were born into this country and not even in this country to believe that you got to watch out for these. He didn't say that. I will. The WASP, the white Anglo-Saxon Protestant males. We're the ones who are destroying the country, and they look the other way. It's the same thing at work, though. It's no different. Trust me. There was actually something funny. I'm really going off on a stray because I did want to mention why I was at Walmart. Anyway, I was at Walmart yesterday to buy a small trash can for my closet, something that would fit in like a little corner because I want to make sure every space is got something useful in there, in my closet. Like if it's not a tub, it's something else where I can make the best out of the small little confined area I have in this one single room that I rent out from the house. So anyway, I was over there. I got that. I got my father this card with a squirrel on the front, again, because we had a dead squirrel in front of our yard yesterday. And I gave it to him early as an early Father's Day card. And he laughed. He kept on looking at it, playing, pushing the button on it. It was great. So there was that. And I'm glad he got a kick out of the car. I really am glad about that. So that I was over there for those 2 things. And when I was over there, by the way, I guess this does not tie in the story that I was going to mention, but there is something else why or something I do want to bring up, by the way, because I got a call for some audition. That's what I want to go into. I'll tease you with that at least. How's that? It is a teaser. I did actually get a physical phone call from New York City on an audition that I had to basically put in for some TV show, and I got called back, and I had to do a rehearsal. So that part is what kept me up so late, by the way, and I'll go into that a little more detail if I don't forget. I hope I don't. So anyway, I'm over Walmart, and I was like, you know what? I got all this running around to do. I got other things, and I got a late start because I was up until 7 in the morning. I pulled out my video camera, which I used to shoot, high-definition video camera, which I haven't used in almost 2 years now. So it had a pile of dust on it. And I had thank God I had one high-definition videotape left because I like the ones that actually use data tape. They're basically, they're like DAT tapes. And I was like, okay, this is perfect. There was one that was brand new, never even used. I ripped the seal off, put it in, and shot my interview. I'll go into that. So, but I got a late start because I got up late. So I want to do things where I'm not backtracking when I have to do these errands of going from one part of town to the next. So I go over to the Walmart over King of Prussia because I was heading over that way. It's like, you know what? I forgot. There's a Walmart right next to the King of Prussia Mall. And right now, by the way, that traffic was horrendous yesterday because you got a lot of people from not only New York who come down because it's the biggest mall in the world now, or at least this part of the country is King of Prussia Mall, but you also get everybody from Philadelphia because Philadelphia, at this point in time, does not have the gallery. It's closed. The whole thing is shut down. So Philly has no shopping center whatsoever right now until it gets modernized, redone, and I don't know how long that's going to take. But right now, everybody from Philadelphia is coming in to the King of Prussia area just to go shopping because they have nothing down there to shop at. The stores they do have are pretty much almost sparse or empty because they're going to get modernized, and there's only like 2 stores open at this point. I think it's a Marshall's and something else, one of those. Actually, let me take that back. I think Marshall's is the only place inside of Philly right now that you can go to on Market Street. There's nothing else, and everything would be too expensive otherwise. The least gallery had regular stores in there. They don't have anything. So that was a problem. So I go over to Walmart first. I deliberately, folks, I parked my car way far away. I had to walk for a good 5 minutes from where I parked in the middle, like where the Walmart cars or trucks parked their stuff. I parked that far away because they don't ever park near the building. They park way, way, way. And it was like, okay, but there's nobody cars over there. The only thing are the company trucks. So I parked around there. There was nobody parked there because nobody wants to walk anymore. It's too much work. So I go in, I spend some time looking around. It didn't take that long to get what I wanted in the Walmart. I come out, this Hispanic lady puts her car right on top, like right next to my car, and then she had the windows all blacked out, a Hispanic lady. Then she lets the door well into the side of my car. It's like, listen, I parked deliberately so far out that it took me 5 minutes to walk to the building because I was that far out. That's a good hike. That's like 2 city blocks from the store. And it was like, you actually went all the way over there and parked your car with your shitty blacked out windows that were like that tape you put on the windows. There was a beat up piece of shit, and let the door well into the side of my car. And then on top of it, she sees me coming over, so she pretends like she's talking in her cell phone or texting on her cell phone. It was like, I was ready to yell at her if I seen a scratch on my car. I don't know how she did not do it, because she parked over the line and then let the door well into my car. Some big, fat, black Hispanic lady. So I was pissed. I was beyond pissed. It's like, okay, this is beyond stupidity, and you're just doing this on spite. I mean, it's so obvious. So everybody has that sense of entitlement and that, hey, we got to take it out on the WASP because they're the ones that made our lives so hard. It's like, no, you didn't. And then you got this issue where you got over 1 million between illegal immigrants, Muslims, basically Muslims, and then illegal immigrants, in addition to the 1 million man march of Muslims in our country. And you wonder why this country is such a mess right now. They can't figure it out, though. And then on top of it, you hear from Rush Limbaugh. He's saying that with 2 generations now, or not 2 generations, I apologize, 20 years, 2 decades of people getting brainwashed in high school and college, or from like grade school to college, by these professors telling them how bad our country is. That's made it worse. And these are going to be the people who are going to be voting this time around in November for our new president. So it's a shoo-in for Hillary, no matter how you look at it, I'm afraid to say. And I tell you, it's going to be 2 terms, and if you have 2 terms of Hillary Clinton, you think it's bad now, it can get a lot worse, and it will. There will be no country left. There will be absolutely nothing. They're getting rid of religion in school, basically, and the Pledge of Allegiance to flags an insult. Everything is just discriminatory against foreigners who don't belong in this country, but yet they had taken over everything. They monopolized everything. And you got so many people on poverty, on welfare right now, they're going to be the ones also voting because they don't want to give up this freedom of getting whatever they want for, out of our pocket, out of our expense. They don't want that to go away. So that's about 1/3 of our country right now, maybe more, that is basically living on welfare, don't have to pay for a thing, and basically just do whatever what they want to do, and nobody is there to stop them. So it's really scary. So I have to laugh about Father's Day because I'm sure for most of these people, the only fathers that are be celebrating, the majority of them are to be single fathers. I'm sure the same thing can be held accountable for Mother's Day. You got single mothers, single fathers. Basically, the fathers don't take care of the kids, the mothers do, if you want to call it that. So the whole thing's kind of a joke anymore. It's not what it doesn't hold the same meaning to me as, I have a father, and I, still, try to respect my parents. So, but these other people don't even know who their parents are, so it's kind of a joke in that way. Another thing is, I'm just trying to get all this other stuff out pretty fast, quickly. I might break it up with kind of explain what happened the other day. So I might have mentioned it too. It was funny. I started mentioning one thing also, and I didn't finish it. But I came home the other night. I was cleaning out where I make this protein drink in this cup. It's basically a mixer that has an emblem on there. I got it at Best Buy for $10, so it was cheap. Worked fairly well. The motor burns out. Like, it mixes your protein drink for you. You don't have to shake it, because shaking it just gets big cluster balls of powder that literally make like powder balls if you shake it. the mixer actually works better. So I have this mixer. I bring it home. I rinse it out under this thing. I wash it out with soap and water every night when I get home. My mother's awake. This was on Friday. She's in there, and she's drying out the sink as I'm washing the cup. So it's like, okay, you're drying a sink out, a kitchen sink, while I'm cleaning, though. Not even after I'm done, but while I'm cleaning. She's with a rag drying the sink out as I'm washing and running dirty water down the sink that I'm trying to clean my dirty dishes. So I've never heard that. She does that in the bathroom, too. I'll be, like, shaving at the mirror. She comes in, and she's basically cleaning the mirror from streaks and marks. It's like, you know what? It's going to get worse. As I'm trying to shave, she's right in front of me trying to clean a mirror or dry up the kitchen, or the bathroom sink as I'm washing up shaving. It makes no sense. I mean, it literally is like a cat crawling around your feet and to the point that you almost trip over the damn thing. That's the exact same thing I deal with my parents on a daily basis. Now, I know I can take care of that problem, but you got to remember, I mean, this with me has taken place before this incident happened, because I'll hear about this from a friend. Well, you know what you need to do. It's like, well, I hate to tell you, this is even worse right now with our situation, because more people, not a lot, but more people are moving home or staying home longer because they can't afford to live on their own, because the cost of living and the fact that they can't find work as well has caused more people to live at home to a much, much later age. So, and I have a cousin, he's about 10 years older than me. He's never moved out of the house ever. He's lived at home with mom his whole entire life. And again, he's 10 years older than me. So there's people that do that. There's some people, but it seems, again, it goes back to, well, that's not you. That's them, not you. You should not act the way they do. Well, that's only one person. There's always an excuse for everything. Now the excuses have just gotten so out of hand, though. So, yeah, it does kind of really irritate me. It's always, let's focus everything on Walter. Now they got somebody else to focus on stupid shit. And it's, not on the people who are destroying our country or the Muslims who basically want everybody dead that are homosexuals. They don't like homosexuals. Nor is it the issue, they're victims. Even though they hate America, they hate homosexuals, it's not their fault. It's our fault. So you got to remember that. I'm just going to try to set the record straight on how the liberals in the left actually really do think, by the way. So I'm just letting you know that. Okay. I thought it was going to say Howard Stern, because I'm looking on. Rush actually did acknowledge Howard Stern the other day about the gun control thing, because, they were both on the same page. So he definitely, acknowledged, tipped his hat, Rush did, to Howard Stern the other day. That's no joke. Oh, there was a riot that Rush put up on Facebook. He posted on Facebook, actually from my man Alan West, and he actually said, he wanted to acknowledge that Alan West put something up, was a few hours ago, just today, was actually, now it's probably like 10 hours ago, where there was this thing, we always hear about Chicago with all these shootings and Black Lives Matter. Is that Chicago? That it was like 25 people, were shot at. 10 of them were dead, or 9 of them were dead. I'll have to look for that story, but that was something that he actually posted a few hours ago today. So there you go with that whole Black Lives Matter thing. It's how well it's working, actually. But I'm just kind of highlighting over his page, because he basically, his highlights are how radical leftist Howard Zen poisoned the minds of 2 generations. That's exactly what I was talking about. You can see that on Rush's page. So I did hear that today. I was listening to recap from Friday's show. If Obama wants to change the law to combat terrorism, then he needs to change Sharia law, he basically said. That was something he talked about, Rush did. And what he was basically saying is that these Muslims, or these people who basically break the laws, don't believe in the laws, especially these Muslims, they disrespect us. They don't like us at all. Yet they don't mind taking our money and basically spawning out throughout our country, destroying everything in their path, especially people that are homosexuals. But yet we're supposed to change, even though it's our country. It's like the unwanted guest who comes over your house and basically takes over your house and then basically tells you how you should run your home. This is exactly what's happened in our country. And Russia, the only way, if Obama was being serious about he wants things to change, or these these terrorist acts to stop happening in our country, you're going to have to dictate to these Muslims this thing known as Sharia law, because that's the only thing they will listen to. They won't listen to our laws. They disrespect us. They don't follow our laws because they don't believe in them. They feel like, again, there's that sense of entitlement that I told you a friend at work told me about. So he goes off about that because there's another story. It's on the same thing, though. Obama in Orlando, this is on Russia's page, if you can take it, about the gun control thing. So the whole thing is just kind of is a joke with our country, with these people. You know, we have people who hate America, but yet they have this sense of entitlement that they should tell us how we should eat, live, and think. Like we should think like them. And if that continues, you're going to have women in this country who right now are wearing spandex pants, everything, are going to be wearing parkas and dresses not showing their skin. So this is the direction you're going to be going if you continue in the same direction south that we are going now. So people are just too stupid to realize you're not going to have a freedom, and that's also going to include women don't have the right to speak out. Women won't have the right to do what they want to do, dress the way they want to. And men, according to these Sharia laws, would also dictate to men that they can beat the crap out of their women if they don't listen, and that actually you can take a wife at the age of 12 or 13. So this is all this great stuff that this peaceful community will incorporate into our country if you continue the way we're going right now. Democrats don't care. All they care about is staying in power. They don't care about how this allowing this garbage into our country is actually destroying our country. They don't care. All they worry about is keeping the power, keeping themselves in, and they try to blame it on, like, again, the WASP and the very rich. Like, you know, the rich people are the ones who have destroyed our country. Nobody else. And these WASP, they're the ones who destroyed our country, not anybody else. Everybody else is victims. So here's a real one that just gives you you have to laugh at, and I agree with because I like this dude. But it's this guy, wow, I thought it'd be easier. Some Reagan Coalition gay writer drops truth bomb on Orlando terrorist. I got this the other day. Liberals lose their minds. From Reagan Coalition. It's the guy, Milo Yiannopoulos. He actually wrote this. The guy is gay, but he's a really smart man. He knows what he's talking about. A lot of people look up to him on my side, on the right, because they realize this guy knows what he's talking about. But he has a leg to stand on. They don't care. The left does not, because he is gay. He's homosexual. He has no interest in women at all. It's this conservative gay writer, Milo Yiannopoulos, once again, had a few words about the Orlando terrorists and Muslim immigrants everywhere, which it has liberals, and then this goes on, which I did have it open. Conservative gay, I'm going to just reread it again. Conservative gay writer Milo Yiannopoulos had a few words about Orlando terrorists and Muslim immigrants everywhere, which has liberals everywhere losing it. It says in an article from Breitbart, Yiannopoulos slammed liberals that agree with policies that allow Muslim refugees to enter Europe at such an alarming rate. He said that the political left, willful, suicidal ignorance and Muslim culture is at odds with virtually every one of their cherished social justice prescriptions. He accused the progressive of turning a blind eye to one of the most dangerous cultures in the world. He criticized him for being offended by things like Halloween costumes, by ignoring the regular aristocrats and culture of mass murder each other over religion, or regional tribal and sectorial differences. Yiannopoulos pointed out how ridiculous liberals are calling conservatives that disagree with their definition of gay marriage bigots, but welcome into their midst a culture that wants to execute queers like me, meaning Yiannopoulos, because he's gay. So the writer also pointed out the problem with liberals is they refuse to believe Muslim immigrants, let alone jihadist, let alone jihadist terrorists, will never adapt to Western culture. They will expect to expand progressive worldview by accepting Islam's Bronze Age barbarism. So he's basically, I'm sorry for messing that up, I apologize, but he's saying you're trying to think that these people will, change into your beliefs. They will not. They will try to change everybody, and they live in, again, as he put it, into Islam's Bronze Age of barbarism. Basically, they live like centuries past. They still treat women like shit. Anybody who's not a male in their culture is basically dog shit. And this is what they want to bring. They're allowing to happen throughout Europe and everywhere else. This should have been crushed years ago. This should have not been able to expand the way it has. It's because it has exploded in every part of the globe. They are literally taken over and infested everything like a bad computer virus. There's nothing left. So it says it's hard to disagree with Yiannopoulos. His observations are right on the mark when it comes to what progressive choice to be offended by. How can someone who chooses not to decorate a gay wedding cake be more dangerous than Islamic race radicals who proclaim that they want to kill Americans? Again, that's the way they think. They want all of us dead, but yet we take them in with open arms. That should make you question the people in power, and then you want to continue this legacy with Hillary Clinton. That makes no sense to me at all. The answer is they are not. But politicians of the left, it's supposed to be left because of but politicians on the left will allow, I guess they did mean left, it was a typo, unvetted Muslim immigrants into our country because they think it is politically correct to do so, as I mentioned before. So, that's absolutely the truth. They think, the left thinks, but if we're politically correct, we let all these people into our country, this will change everything. This will, make them love us even more. No, they're going to actually, when they are able, they have the ability to get their way, there's going to be nobody left of us. We're all going to be dead. So even the left, it's one of these things, they are beyond stupid, no offense. These people who continue to be brainwashed. I know they try to brainwash me in college, but I just kind of did not fall for it. I actually fought against it because I had a professor, actually, not a professor, she was probably like one of these adjunct type people at Cabrini College. And this woman, obviously, she was very, she was a lesbian. And she basically, because they had to be politically correct, she basically was trying to brainwash people to think the way she did. And it was like, you know what? You're going to be in for a rude awakening because I'm not gonna fall for that bullshit. So, I don't, I fought with her tooth and nail. I respected her. I respected her for being, a lesbian, but at the same time, I did not agree with her ways, and I definitely let her know that. And she kind of, we fought tooth and nail. We respected each other's grounds, but she was not going to change my idea or my way of thinking, and that did cause some problems, trust me. So anyway, I just want to mention that. I'm going further and further away from my story, but I don't think it's going to happen at this point either. I kind of sabotaged it unintentionally myself. So maybe I should mention this now, but I actually applied. I looked online because I've been trying to see if I wanted to go, which I don't think I will. I can't afford it right now. I was going to try to drive down or take a train down to North Carolina to go see Kevin Smith at a meet and greet. And it's just like, this is not going to happen. So I was going to see if Kevin Smith would do anything closer. So it ended up not like, it's not going to happen probably. It's just too expensive, too costly. And I spend too much money on other stupid crap to make it even worth it happening or worthwhile, make it happen. I will be miserable if I do it. Because of the money I'll be spending. I'll spend almost close to at least $1,000, if not more, to make this small trip. So, I mean, going to Red Bank's one thing. I can drive there. It's an hour and 50 minutes, an hour and 52 minutes. That's not a problem. Driving down to North Carolina and taking that time out and everything like that, it's going to create a lot of problems for me with my health, work situation, and just everything else. So it's probably, unless I can come up with something, where I can meet up with my brother, it's not going to happen. So at this point, no, I'm not going to do it. So I still look to see if he's going to do anything with Kevin. Kevin Smith's going to do anything around here. And it's basically pertaining to doing a tour on the movie Yoga Hosers. So I text him and everything like that. And I really, honestly, I don't hear back from him. I just get nods on Twitter and stuff because he does look at his Twitter account, but he just does not answer me, at least. When I write him, he just gives a nod, and that's about it. So, anyway, I went on there the last time. I checked his different links for Kevin Smith, who does Clerks, Jason, Amy, Mallrats, Dogma, his main top movies. And there was a thing up that they're looking for people, guys, for the show called Comic Book Men. That is Walt Flanagan, Mike Zapsik, I forget the other guys' names. I did see them. And Mark Costello, who unfortunately just passed away. So I didn't know they do this stuff. I honestly don't watch Comic Book Men. When it is on, it's on after The Talking Dead on AMC. So it's The Walking Dead on the nights it's on. Talking Dead, which is on after probably closer to 11 o'clock to midnight. And then after that is Comic Book Men. So the show's been on, I think, for 7 seasons, and I guess it does pretty well. Maybe people just TiVo it. I don't know. So I've never honestly watched a show. So, but they were saying they need somebody to pretend to be a customer or, wants to be on the TV show called Comic Book Men. So I was like, yeah, I'm going to try this out because I'm all about the View Ask You. I'm all about the View Ask You universe. So I filled it out. I filled out this application. It was a real pain in the ass. It had taken me quite a while for all the questions they asked. And then they had this list of I got a call back from this woman. She's still on my phone, actually. Her name is Diana. I'm not sure about how to say her last name, so I apologize. I won't ruin her name. So I got a call on my cell phone, and I was asleep still. Let's see, it was on Friday, so that was like 2 days ago, from New York City. And she basically left a message, this woman, Diana. She says, hey, I saw your application. You were interested in trying out for Comic Book Men. And I really like to, can you make a video about yourself? And she gives you a list of what they're looking for. Now, she said make sure, which is difficult for me to do at this point, because I've done podcasts now for almost a little over a year now. It's going on a year and some change. So I'm reading it right now. Here's my email. It says, hi, with an exclamation point. What a way to put it. I can't wait to see how what you come up with. The sooner I get my hands on a piece of cast and puzzle, the better for this show called Comic Book Men. So this is from this woman, Diana. She's a cast and associate producer, it says, on Comic Book Men. So I called her back. I said, yeah, hey, I got to go to work. I work second shift. I won't be able to do it until the weekend. Is that okay if I just hand in late? She said, well, the sooner the better. So I was like frantic. I got home Friday night. My camera work, I had to dust it off. My mic, I have an external mic to this camera I have, was not working properly, so I had to get that working. I had to set up a light kit that I have, and I try to figure out, okay, at work, when I was at work, I went down the list of things they're looking for that they want you to say on this video interview you're supposed to do to submit. So it says, though, by the way, it says the video should be around 3 minutes, have tons of energy and more, show that you're more excited about the process than about the show, show a lot of energy that you really want to be on this show. So I was like, okay, well, here's the problem. It's at around 3 minutes. Well, guess what? It ended up, for me, I try to really hold back and give, like, the specifics. I never can do that. Most of my shows are an hour and a half to 2 hours. This show's, like, going on an hour right now. So it ended up being over 18 minutes for a 3-minute interview. That's going to be problem number one. I had a difficult time editing it and you actually get it on YouTube, because she said, actually submit your video to YouTube, then email me the link to your YouTube thing so I can look at it. So guess what? It ended up anything over, they now changed it. YouTube used to have a limit of 10 minutes. They made it 15. They had to sign a waiver agreement that you will go over the 15 minutes as the new maximum. I was like, okay, I'll do that. So I did that, but it was 18 minutes for a 3-minute video. But she gives some bullet points. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different bullet points, stuff they want to see, in addition to what part you would be playing on the show, which is only going to be for a few seconds, by the way. So she highlighted what she was looking for. It says, introduce your name, age, occupation, hometown, and a little bit about yourself. Well, the little bit turned out to be 18 minutes. And she highlighted 2 key points. If you're buying an item, because the other one is if you're selling, what started you your hunt on this particular item, character, and how long has it been that you were looking for it, and how much you're willing to pay. So I try to remember all this stuff. I wrote it down. I didn't keep to my thing, and it says in here, you don't have to keep, quote unquote, the script, because basically this is not an interview for being on a TV show, but yeah, it is a script, and you're getting hired out, so to speak. So anyway, it says, have fun, be casual. This is not a job interview, but it technically is. Talk to the camera like you're chatting with your friends. No props, costumes, music, gimmicks, animation, or editing. So I try not to do any of that stuff. I actually try to make sure I kept props out. I literally had bags on ride because I was working, and it took me until 5 in the morning just to get everything camera-wise working, and then I try to not edit it. See, if I could have edited it, I would have cut it back to the 3 minutes. But she said no, gimmicks or editing, so I could not do that. I had to just basically give her the raw footage. We love to see clean, streamlined videos full of as much comic book joy as you are, but make sure you tell a story clearly to the camera and don't get caught up in editing tricks. Most importantly, have fun. So I try to make it fun. I just went off like I do right now with my radio show. I basically made the joke. I said, this is how I talk on my show. I kept all the profanity out because most of the time I do have a lot of profanity in there. I made sure not to do that. It says the best way, she mentioned, the best way to get the video to me is by uploading to your YouTube, sending me the link, which I did at least do that. Make sure privacy settings are not set to unlisted, which I did not do. Feel free to call me, this woman, with any questions, concerns. Not really. Give me a call. So I didn't give her a call. I may have to call her back if I don't hear back and say, listen, the video is kind of long. A friend agreed with me, though. I said, well, this is 18 minutes. That's more than they actually wanted. But what I was hoping, though, I'm going to see if I can find it, actually. Actually, I put it on my Facebook page. I did put a link on my Facebook page, too, by the way. I just told her, hey, maybe you can just kind of dig through. I wrote in the email and then the link in the email and a couple pictures of myself. Maybe perhaps you can just find what kind of personality you're looking for out of this. You don't have to watch the whole thing. I don't even know if they're going to be interested in doing that, though. That's my biggest fear. So, yeah, I'm trying to look for it right now because I had some stories actually lined up. Now I'm going to have to. I'm trying to backtrack if I can't because this is so slow right now. I think with 32 gigs of RAM, it wouldn't be that bad. You know what? Speaking of which, I had some really cool stuff. I got some stuff at GameStop yesterday. I go in there expecting to spend no money, folks, and I spend way too much money because guess what? They had a Captain America Shield backpack. Now, on the conventions and on Amazon, it was like $100. They had it for $50, brand new. So, and I got my Captain America shields. I bought the diamond-shaped ones, kind of. I call them diamond-shaped. For me and a friend. They came from Estia or something yesterday. And but it had smell of paint on there. So the problem with that, though, the smell of paint was so strong in my room, I had to take it and put it in the garage, let it kind of air out in there. I don't want to put them outside. And the one was for a gift for a friend. So, yeah, I put this video up, by the way, yesterday at 6:17 a.m. So let's see if I can find the length of the video. 18.48 minutes. Yeah, it was pretty long. The quality is not too great. I actually deliberately made it black and white because black and white is not very forgiving, so I did that on spite. It's causing problems to my computer right now. So, yeah, the 3-minute video almost ended up being close to 19 minutes long. So I just basically put Comic Book Man tryout video. I seriously doubt she's going to be interested unless you're totally desperate at this point. Let's see, because it says 5 views. It hasn't changed, and most of the views on it, quite honestly, were from me. So, again, I try to reach everything she put on this paper. I think I read them all. So the problem was when you actually, you can't do that in 3 minutes. You want to do it the way it should be done. So, yeah, it ended up being 18 minutes. So, but I'll see. Again, I'll probably wait till next week. I'm not going to, indulge myself and drive these people nuts. That's the last thing you want to do. If I get a hold of her, that's one thing. Might even just let it go altogether because I don't think at this point I'm going to get a call back. But, yeah, once again, also, I did go to the GameStop yesterday. That was actually really, really cool because I got, it was like, dude, I want to buy this, but it's like, to me, it felt like a must. Like, I had to get this. I know it's kind of a waste of money, but I want to do it anyway. And I got this Captain America shield at GameStop. Again, it's like I looked on, I know I saw them at the comic books convention, never at that cheap a price. But they were like $100. I looked on Amazon, yeah, they were like $100 there. So it was like, yes, I got to get this. So I bought that. It was really cool. If you're a big fan like I am of those Doom games, I never get through them anymore because they just got so difficult. I used to like play them on the PC where I could put the cheat codes in and actually finish the game. Now those games are more specifically designed for PCs, which I no longer own, or for the consoles, which I do have. I just have a difficult time with the joysticks to actually finish the game. And plus, I don't know how to put cheat codes in. Otherwise, I'll be back in heaven again on playing these games. They had a Doom t-shirt, though. It was like $15 on sale for 50% off for $7 because they're clearancing them out now. The new Doom game from the company it's id Software. So it was like, wow. So I bought one of those for $7. So that was pretty cool. And by the way, I got my hair cut yesterday. This was pretty funny. And you're going to laugh. But I got my hair cut, and it was like from a black barbershop up in what do you call it? Is it Collegeville? So, yeah, it was kind of funny. I actually kind of laugh almost to myself. But, yeah, I went to a barbershop. It said barbershop, and it was called Blessings. I had a friend years ago. His name was Bobby Blessing. Let me look. I got the card right here. Hope it's not a friend that's actually at the door. Yeah, and the girl was really nice. She was a really cute girl. She cut my hair really well, too, actually. E41 East Main Street, Collegeville. And the place is called Blessings Barbershop. So you think barbershop. But I looked on the walls, and it was I didn't think twice when I saw the girl was a black girl. It was like, okay, it's just, really cute girl. Looks more like a hairdresser going to cut my hair. And I was the only one in there. And I looked on the walls. It was like pictures of all black people because it's a barbershop for, black people, not for white folks. So it was like, okay, but she didn't seem to mind. She cut my hair. She did a really good job. And then black father and son walked in. It was like, yeah, I guess I did go into what do you call it? An ethnic barbershop. But she was really cool. I guess they got weirded out seeing a white guy get his haircut in the black barbershop. So they walked out. I don't think they were going to come back. It's like, hey, there's a white guy in his barbershop. What's going on here? But it was right in Collegeville, right down from your sinus, which was kind of funny. Again, I don't seem to mind. I just thought it was kind of felt a little funny, but she didn't. Again, I thought she did a pretty impressionable haircut. So, that was kind of unique. My mom was laughing about it. I told her. She said, you went to a black barbershop? I was like, yeah, but they did a good job, so I don't care. It was like $18. I gave her a $5 tip. The girl was really nice. She gave me a coupon. I can go back again and get my haircut for $10. And they were really nice. Again, I'll be the only white person in there, but that's besides the point. Not even important, but I thought it was pretty funny either way. Hey, well, you know what's pretty funny? I don't know if I mentioned because I've been off for so long. Lady Gaga, and get this is a team up that's kind of unique. Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper will be probably working on another remake. It'll be the fourth one of the movie called A Star Is Born. Yeah, there's like there's 3 different versions right now. The best known one that I know of is the one with Barbra Streisand. But yeah, there'll be another one where they're going to have Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper. Bradley Cooper is from around here too, which is kind of funny. He was really good in The Elephant Man when I saw him in that play up in New York on Broadway. I really liked that. So there's that. And just in case you're interested, what I would be doing if they do call me back, again, I don't think they will. I sent it to a friend to let him know, hey, look at my Facebook page. That I hate to tell you, but yeah, the Comic Book Man, when they get people into the store that basically want to buy stuff or sell things, that's all basically, these are people that have to go through the interview process, which I actually am now also. So I found one. This chick is like really, I think she's kind of decent looking. She looked pretty hot. She was like what I would be on AMC, a pretend customer who comes into Jay and Silent Bob's down in Red Bank. And she's got a homemade costume. Again, I think she's got like her face is unique, but she's got a killer body though. And she comes in that she wants to buy something. Well, this is all rehearsed ahead of time, like what they're going to be if they call me back, which I doubt it. It's the same exact thing. So anyway, she comes in and she has this homemade costume. She's got a really nice ass too. Homemade costume saying, I need to look for something. Bleached blonde hair. Again, she's not bad looking. She's got a nice freaking ass. But a homemade costume of Aquaman. And yeah, they do make sure to get a butt shot of her ass. And like Walt Flanagan and everybody, I'm kind of fast forward through right now, is saying, what are you in here for? And the whole thing is you got to give them a topic that they can discuss on Comic Book Men, which apparently Kevin Smith does come out. They shoot one part of the show directly in the store, and then the other part is actually shot, right down the street, because they told me. I talked to Walt that time, and Mike Zapsik, and also, I'm trying to think, Walt, Mike, and Mike Zapsik. Sorry about that. Walt Flanagan and Mark Costello. When I talked to those guys, they literally, one of them, I think Walt might have actually mentioned it off the record kind of thing when I talked to him. He says, oh, yeah, one of those guys told me that, yeah, we shoot right down the street. It might have been actually Mark who told me that. He says they shoot right down the street, from the comic book store. It's not that far of a distance. So everything is shot for AMC right within a Red Bank, like a block apart. I think that's all it is, actually. I think it's like one block. I'm trying to check out this woman's ass again. She was really, really, had a hot body. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, she's got definitely a nice ass. Nice small one, too. So, you got a lot of tattoos. So, anyway, it's called Talked About Scene, episode 305, Comic Book Men, Pity the Fools is the name of the title. It's on YouTube. Well, this is exactly how they pick people and how they do the comic book man. So they're shooting, I thought they said season 7. I can't remember now. I'd have to go through all my emails. And, I actually wrote it out. The woman that I work with kind of encouraged me, hey, Walter, you should do this, Hey, you like all this stuff. You want to do all this kind of stuff. Why didn't you try out for Comic Book Man? It'd be stupid if you didn't. So I did, and I got a call back on Friday. I think it was like Friday afternoon or something like that. So I did call back, and they were definitely interested. Yes, thank you. We received your entry. So I got a special ID number, which you're going to go by when I call back. So, and by the way, I did buy a lot of wasteful money that I don't even have in my pocket. So I got myself into like $4,000 of debt. Almost. Not all at once, because that's included in paying off my car, which is about $1,800. It was originally $12,000. It's down to $1,800, so it's less than $2,000. That's really good in the last 2 years, because I just bought this car I have now 2 years ago. So that's pretty good. I paid off over $10,000 of a car within less than 2 years, because I just chunk out all the payments. So, but I have this bonus coming through. I was going to pay off all my bills. I'm like, well, I'm probably not going to pay them all off. I'm going to pay them a little bit, at least on all of them, to get them down. But I bought tickets to Garbage Now, a meet and greet. Then I bought tickets to a meet and greet because I figured he would sell out. Now, a friend of mine, my friend Todd, told me, you really don't want to do that. It was like, he tells me after the fact, though, to Henry Rollins, because Rollins, because I liked Henry Rollins. I think I said it right. Henry Rollins, because I used to like him in movies and, TV shows as host, but I heard he's like a real lefty when it comes to politics. But you know what, though? I hate to tell you, I didn't meet him, though, but I always liked back in the past, even though he was totally nuts, is Al Jurgensen from Ministry. He's a real leftist. I mean, he's a whack job, but I like his music. I used to like it more so than I do now. So, I mean, I'm going to have to take it with a grain of salt, because I didn't realize I bought a ticket for somebody who is on the opposite side of his on opinions on politics that I am. So we're going to clash if I even open my mouth to Henry Rollins. So I'll be nice. I like the guy as an entertainer. Obviously, I don't like him as a political leftist, though. That's going to be an issue with me. And now I just plunked down some money to go see him on a meet and greet. So that's pretty weird. But that was more money I spent. So anyway, it's done deal. I can't change it. I got the ticket. I could sell it off, but I've gone this far. I want to kind of follow through with it. I got one actually next month. I'm going to go see a meet and greet with, which I saw him before. I thought I did, John Carpenter. And then I got one for Shatner as well. So I got a lot of them. And then I got one for some Disney kid. So I wanted to keep myself busy in the next couple of months, keep myself occupied with things of interest that, even though it's costly, it's not as costly as taking a very expensive trip. So anyway, I had some funny stories. There's some video that I actually was on the Daily Mail from a couple of days ago. Embarrassing elephants were basically, put in my words, they were basically having sex. 2 elephants were having sex, and they got caught on camera. It's pretty funny. That was on from Daily Mail. A friend had sent me a thing on a sex offender allegedly abuses sleeping woman on L.A. flight from, it's Al flight from Tel Aviv to Newark, Americanas. So now the funny thing is, a guy who's a sex offender, it laughed because they have a mugshot of him. He's one of those what do you call that? Hasidic Jews. So Olander 35 was something like that. Was convicted of assault of it. Now get this, 11-year-old girl in 2002 on an overnight flight. He is accused of repeatedly touching the women sitting next to him. So apparently it's an issue back then. It's an issue still with this guy who is literally what's called a Hasidic Jew, and he is always getting in trouble for basically fondling women, obviously a little girl as well, back in the day. There's a story from, unfortunately, some Huffington Post. What Richard Branson had to say after catching a napping employee. He kind of made a joke out of it. He didn't take it that seriously because the guy actually was on his break, but he's laughing about it. And the guy, actually, this guy, Richard Branson, he's the owner of something really big. Let me see. I hate to open up because it is Huffington Post, so. But it was a pretty funny story. Oh, the Virgin Airlines. The guy is the owner of the Virgin Airlines. I think that's what it is. So, yeah, that's pretty funny. I found this story that I thought was really unique. I don't know where it's located, but they're actually, if you're in, it says Lone Star State. So what is that, Texas? You could actually get tickets. Theater is screening Jaws on the lake. So, you know, they always show those pictures where people actually see Jaws on a lake in these rafts, these rubber rafts. We're actually now giving you a place to buy tickets for that, I guess. But again, it's not around the corner, so that's the only thing, because it's down, south. I just opened up the page. Jaws on the Water, presented by Lone Star State. So you can actually watch the movie, and they show you actually in water tubes. I thought it was like water rafts. It's actually tubes, like those inner tubes, the tire tubes. But the problem is, when you get kind of like pruned after a while, it's an hour and a half freaking movie. Actually, yeah, it's in Austin, Texas. They're running the dates from June 23rd all the way up until July 4th, which is actually cool. And in Austin, Texas, you actually, I guess you have to bring your own raft or whatever, your own tube. The price of the tickets, though, are a little hefty. It's actually $45 plus there's a convenience fee. But you will be watching the movie. Why don't they just do it, like, technically, it'd make more sense if they do it down, like, for us, down the Jersey Shore, because I would make a trip down there and just do it on the beach. I mean, it's kind of cool that they're doing in a lake, though, or whatever you call it, but it's not quite the same. I would personally, I would do it I'd probably scare the shit out of people, though, if they did it that way, but I would do it down the Jersey Shore. But yeah, it's been an ongoing thing that's been on Facebook, but this time you can actually go. The tickets are still available, obviously, because I just looked at them now. I did put up a picture on my Facebook page of both the shields I had just purchased. Unfortunately, the girl was trying to rush them out. She did a really good job. She put bubble wrap around them. They're actually made out of wood, but she did a really nice job painting them up. And she put popcorn, that foam popcorn, and the bubble wrap around it. The problem is, though, now, there's bubble marks in the paint because it, actually, the paint wasn't cured yet, so the paint actually got over top of the paint, and now there's bubble marks. I'm going to try to see if I can fix that from a friend and I. I'm going to use some wood polish once the paint does cure correctly and see if the wood polish would actually kind of disperse that. I might even try that after my show. I'll see. Hey, if you want to see something really cool, it was some Unilad I put up. There's this poor little baby turtle, really tiny one, where it basically had some muscle disease where it couldn't carry itself. So this guy came up with something they call the little baby turtle blade from Unilab. So they did is they put little Lego connections on the bottom of the turtle's shell, and then in there they put little wheels attached. So the turtle, because it can't lift itself any longer, its muscles has some disease. It can pull itself, but it's difficult. So now it has little wheels underneath that help the turtle be able to move freely on its own. It's kind of cool. Okay, I'm looking through stuff. I got some foreign commercial that was really funny for some beer commercial. It looks like a German beer commercial, but it's really funny. Check it out. You will see it on Walter. It's Die Betzen What's Up video where I can't speak German, so I'm really botching it up. If you're a Rush Limbaugh fan like me, you have kids. I don't. I'm the kid. I put it up. Order now. Actually, I don't know if it's still going on, though. He had actually ran a sale on his Liberty plush dolls. Liberty, the Talking Horse, from his books. Kids' books that he writes, Rush Limbaugh writes. He actually put up a promo code, which was LFB16, and you actually got some money off receive $7.50 off of the Rush plush, the doll. It was pretty cool. I have to maybe kind of plug her, but I think she's really hot looking. Jade Starlin, she put up some really sexy pictures of herself. I know she kind of is a supporter of gay activist groups and stuff. I don't know what her preference is. I know she does a lot of promotional shots. She's the one who sang a song years ago that was really popular. Jade Starlin did, called "Catch Me, I Am Fallen." But you're talking kind of a bit back in time. But Jade, I mean, she's like, I think she's a couple years older, I mean, like 52 or something. She looks really hot. So I always like to see her. When she puts up pictures, I acknowledge them, and she acknowledges me back. So I'm happy about that. Anyway, one of the reasons I forgot all about this, I had to bring this up because I thought this is like a thing you never thought would actually physically take place. It will someday. When I was in the GameStop, I was talking for hours to these guys to the point they actually had to like walk away from me in the GameStop, because I'm always like interested in talking to people, finding out what makes them tick, what information can they give me, that things that I don't know about. So guess what? That actually happened. I was in there. We were bullshitting about different things I wanted to know also, especially about what's going on with the PlayStation 4.5. What's the dealio on the Xbox One, the new version of the Xbox One, which is going to be Xbox One Slim, which is going to have 4K built into it. So I had a lot of questions to ask these guys. So this guy was giving me all this information. Like, I would say it's overload. I think it was overload for them, not for me, on me asking them all these questions. So guess what? I'm trying to look for it now. I saw there actually, their guys were trying to think of movies that this happened in, but it was actually, it didn't dawn on me. I should have known this. Was Superman had this in there. If you remember the Fortress of Solitude, and what is it? Where I'm trying to think right now, where Krypton, on the planet Krypton, how everything was crystals. The information was stored on crystals. Well, guess what? Our future, I guess you can thank from movies like Superman and stuff, that is going to become not a myth, but the actual factual truth. They're running the problems right now with hard drives and even solid state drives where there's issues. They can't go any further. They can't make them any bigger. They have, tried to make the limits a little bit higher, but now it's actually gotten to the point that they can't go any further with either technology, with solid state or with hard drives, without there being errors being, the more information or the more space you try to put on a hard drive, the more difficult it's going to get. So I'm trying to find it now because I found an article. They're going to make crystal drives, literally, just like in Superman and some other TV movies and stuff. Superman's the one that came to mind, where the technology that and stuff was on. I think he called it 3D imaging, or 3D, not like imaging, but 3D crystals. Like, these crystals will actually be able to store petabytes. They won't be just what do you call it? What are we up to now? Terabytes. They will actually be they will go beyond even petabytes. So right now we are starting to reach a little bit of a limit, not much, on terabytes. I mean, we're up to 10, but yeah, but with the crystal technology, literally crystals, you'll be able to go much further, and you'll be able to hit those petabytes and stuff. You can't right now. So that was really cool. If I can find an article, I'm digging through it right now, folks, to see if I can dig it up. I'm actually at an hour and a half almost now. A couple other things on my Facebook page. Check it out. I think it's really cool. World of Dance Hall. This father and son make music with mainly instruments or tools, and the son uses like an oven door to make music with, and it actually works. I got that on there. I got some video of a It says the reptile report on a two-headed turtle, literally a real two-headed turtle. I got a picture of the girl who played on Bewitched, the little kid, on the original TV show. She's all grown up now. So I got a picture of her. Her name was Erin Murphy. Tabitha, that was the name. They finally put a close on how much money my movie of Batman versus Superman has made in total. The run is over of that movie. They're not showing it any longer. At least they're stating that $330 million. I don't think that's that bad. I put on there a movie actually that Jerry Lewis did that not many people realize, and it's titled "The Day the Clown Cried." Famed unreleased Jerry Lewis Holocaust movie surfaces online. So Jerry Lewis actually did play a serious role. He's known for comedy, Jerry Lewis. He actually played a Jew in a German Nazi film. It says that Vizimo or whatever user has posted a 31-minute condensed version of the movie using footage shot by Lewis script extracts and reenactment. So it's pretty cool. There was something that was actually pretty funny. It's titled Justin Bieber Fell on Stage Last Night and We Can't Stop Laughing. It was from EliteDaily.com. You can check that out. I got that on my Facebook page. And there's this cat who's beating the shit out of a stuffed animal tiger. Like it literally thinks it was trying to show its bronze on a stuffed animal. That's pretty funny. This is all on my Facebook page. Something that I got from I Will Not Vote for Obama in 2012. It's an actual link, by the way. I know 2012's passed. Breaking news. Woman can't wait until Orlando shooting funeral passes. Hits two deputies instead. Impatient driver plows through Orlando victim's funeral procession. Hits two deputies. So there you go. There's that. Finally, I found my story, by the way, but those are all very important stories, just to let you know. I think they are. And I am going on an hour and a half, which is pretty impressive. That's why 18 minutes to me is like 5 seconds, trust me, when I had to do that interview, which I know I will not get a call back now. Anyway, this was some CNN money. Apologize about the source, but it's the one I found for the crystal thing. New Superman crystals can store data for billions of years, but this is the direction they're actually going to be going. Researchers in UK have developed a way of storing digital data inside teeny structures contained in glass. The storage technology is so stable, that's what I heard this guy say, is so stable and safe that it can survive for billions of years. Scientists at the University of Southampton had mentioned during this article. So, yeah, I mean, it literally takes no space at all. That's a lot longer than your average computer hard drive. So basically, each disk can hold up to 360 terabytes of data. So that's very impressive. I thought they were going to say, what did I say, hepabytes or something? But the next phase after terabytes. But this is still very impressive, and it's only a small little thing. Again, each disk can hold up to 360 terabytes. So eventually you're going to see this. I'm sorry, but you can see that. I got on my Facebook page, folks. I actually got to take a pause, but instead of taking a pause, I'm just going to stop. Very interesting news I learned from these guys. These guys in GameStop are very, they try to get people to know what they're talking about. These are geeks, so this is what's cool about it. So everyone, since it is an hour and a half, I'm going to cut short on any other stories. I did have probably other things to talk about, but I'm not going to talk about them tonight. I'll just save it for another show, because if I go too long, people do lose interest. This is an hour and a half almost. So thanks again. This is Walter from iWalter. I'm just going to cut myself off because it's an hour and a half again, and that's pretty long for most people to listen to me. Thanks for listening in. This is Walter from iWalter. Sign off for now on a Sunday Father's Day night. Thanks again.